Okay, here's an example of a completed drone model. Okay, the texture's not done on it, but the model is done. So I just put a, more or less blank texture on here just to make sure the unwrapping was working. But anyway, what we have here is, let's drop down to the bottom of the stack. Okay, so I modeled half of it and used the symmetry modifier. Okay. Um, and when you do that, you have to make sure that the seam in the middle here is that you don't move it left or right while you're building this whole model. So, and it's fairly easy to model out both sides at the same time without using symmetry. So I think I'm going to demonstrate it that way. But we'll see. So here's the basic polys. I just did it from a cylinder and worked out from there. Let's continuing on. Here it is. Move myself up here. Here it is with the symmetry turned on. Okay. And then I'll do F4 to show edges. So you can see here's where the to be here. Odd. Well, when I deselect it, it jumps up to the top of the stack. All right, there we go. So here you can see the basic low poly model. Okay, it's made from a cylinder. Like I said, we'll extrude out the wings and stuff like that. And here it is with a turbo smooth modifier placed on top of it. Okay, which basically makes a high poly mesh. Okay, on top, kind of on top of the low poly mesh. Okay, it just rounds all the corners. So you have to add extra loops to control it. We'll talk about how to do that. And then I put the unwrap on top. If you try to do the unwrap on top of the low poly model, it gets too distorted when you put the turbo smooth on there. So anyway, to get started with this thing, I'm sending you guys this file, okay? And this, when we're in class, we do this in cut this out from the original in Photoshop and set up this whole little place to draw in, right? So what it is there's a polygon called top plane, and it's the top view, okay? And there's one called side plane, or a plane rather, and it's the side view, okay? Front view, and then if I go to the front viewport, I see the front view, okay? If I go to the top viewport, I see it from the top. So it's set up to be like a place to build the plane inside here, and we'll be able to look at it from each side to see that the proportions and everything are correct. These images are not very high resolution, okay? That's why I have these on high quality. If I turn it to standard, see it's kind of more pixely looking. Where was I here? Yeah. So anyway, so these drawings don't have enough detail to like really create the model, but it's easy enough to look at photos online. It's a MQ9 Reaper is this kind of drone. And it's used for a lot of different purposes, so it looks quite different all the time. It's not all, it could be used for reconnaissance or something like that. It doesn't, I wouldn't even bother drawing these missiles on here. Or if you did, they could be secondary. I mean, not of primary import. All right, so anyway, and if you don't see the pictures on here when you open it, you might have to relink because I'm sending you the pictures are raster files, right? JPEGs or whatever that are separate. So you may have to relink them. If I open my material editor, okay, here they are. And this one is, I should have named it front top side, but whatever, it doesn't actually matter. Okay, so that's the front. So I just go here and um, you look for front and just click on it and relink it till you find front, right? You just have to browse to wherever you unzipped the pictures to be, okay? I might change these and call them front, okay? Top, gonna do that just for consistency. Side. All right, let me save this. Okay, so we'll start with a cylinder, okay? And I'll draw it like right here. Roughly speaking. And maybe I'll put it here. Go that way with the radius. I'm going to go all the way to the end, I think. Okay, and you want the thing to have, the cylinder to have 8 sides. Okay, sides 8. Height segments doesn't really matter at the moment. We're going to put in a bunch of them, but we'll probably do it by using the connect as opposed to putting them in here. Maybe I'll start with I'll put in 5 for starters. I think that's the default. All right, so it looks like it's more or less lined up. That means the planes are all more or less correctly lined up. It's about the right thickness there. And I'm going to go to the material editor. And there's 2 materials here with the same name. See, they're both, when I click on them, they're both 07 default. Okay. So this one here is, if I want to see through it, okay, it's for whatever reason you can see through better on the standard quality view, okay, but then you can't see the background. What if I go object properties and turn off cast shadows? Would that help? No. Okay. Anyway, maybe this one could be a little bit more transparent. How about 20%? Yeah. So if you want to work transparent, just put this one to scene. If you want to work opaque, just click on this one and see that put material to scene. So they both have the same name. Okay, so you can just go back and forth, use whichever one you want. Guess I'll start with a transparent here. All right, so I will convert this object to editable poly. And then we can start kind of like roughing out the side, you know. I'll scale this down a little bit. Maybe I'll move these guys forward somewhat. Maybe this should go here. These middle ones, I think I will scale them down. Let's look at it from other angles now. Okay, so you just kind of start trying to create the shape of this thing. Okay, so whenever you need more edges, let me open my, I'm going to look at my other one. I'm going to move this over onto another screen and try to do it kind of the same way I did this before. So like whenever you need another set of loops, just select these guys, right? And just go to connect. So this is how, roughly speaking, how we do it. You just kind of, but you notice when I select, I'm not clicking and dragging, right? Because that would only get one side. Remember, I'm modeling both sides of this thing at the same time. Okay. So you want to make sure you always use the marquee so you get both sides of the aircraft. And let's see here. I'm going to fix up the front right now. I'm going to select these two and do connect. And whoops, where'd I go? It won't let me connect across here because there's one in the way, right? If I go like this and they connect, nothing will happen. So I'll try using, could probably just put a vertex there. I could use cut, right? I usually turn on snap when I do this. Cut will cut across. See, it makes a vertex there. Move this one out a little bit. The hard part is this thing back here. Let's look at it from the top view. So I'll try selecting these vertices and I can maybe scale it horizontal. Looks like it needs to be scaled horizontally a little bit. Now it looks slightly off. Well, there's all kinds of problems here. Let me hit F4 to turn my edges on. Whoops. Select these vertices here. I'll scale them horizontally somewhat. Looks to me like I thought I was lined up, but you can always move the picture a little bit if you have to. Oh, I got snap turned on. I'll turn that off. Yeah, I'll go back here. So we just work like this. I'm going to scale that. Take this guy, move it back here more or less. And so you just want to kind of finesse, get the fuselage as good as you can first. Doing out the side wings, and then there's this bottom wing. It's relatively easy because they're perpendicular, right? One thing you want to do is we need the wings, like if you look on, we need the wings to come, we need there to be a loop at the beginning and end of the base of the wing, okay? Oops. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to move this guy so it's right at the beginning. That's about right. I think we need another loop here. Connect. So I'm changing this fuselage by either scaling it or moving vertices up and down, right? Or selecting all of them and scaling. So when I do it, oh look, I screwed it up slightly. I'm gonna have to fix that. Oh, that's interesting. So the idea is that this seam down the middle has to be perfectly correct. Must be because I had snap turned on there, and it must have snapped to some other vertex. Okay. I swear I have never done that before in my life. So let's see, how can I fix this? I can go here and just see what Okay, so it's this number, whatever that is. I have my reading glasses on, and go to this guy. Just make sure Control V. So I copied and pasted it in there to fix my mistake. That probably won't happen to you, but so anyway, we want to keep this seam clean all the way down there. All right. So just go ahead and build that fuselage out as good as you can. All right. And I'm going to do that, and then we'll meet up in the next video.